exciting staged combat group from the San Francisco Bay Area group called the Skirmishers. And today in the studio we have the honor of having with us the director of that group, Gareth Thomas. Gareth, thank you for joining us.
Gareth, it's so nice to have you with us. Thanks so much for coming. Why don't we get right into this and explain to the public what Skirmishers are and how you guys came to be.
All right. Skirmishers is a stage fight choreography combat group that got its start on the independent Renaissance Fair circuit about 7 years ago. We began doing shows for the King's Court and shows down in the streets of the fairs rather than up on stages, so the audience from a distance actually feels like they're still taking part in it, that they're exposed to a fight of the Elizabethan period.
Draws them right in.
Right.
Did you have any fencing background when you started doing this, or how did you get into it?
I began with fencing and went on from there, making the fencing moves that are taught a little more flamboyant, a little more enjoyable for the crowd. Yeah. Fencing itself, unless you're an avid fencer or enthusiast, isn't quite as exciting, I think.
Well, I know I watched Robin Hood as like one of my all-time favorite movies, and I just wish that I could be a skirmisher.
Mm-hmm.
There's something quite romantic about that, I think.
It is very chivalristic.
Look, we've got a tape of this chivalrous man right beside us here. Why don't we go ahead and roll the tape and see a little bit about what this group does.
So tell me, how is this different from fencing?
Modern fencing is designed more for the individual. It's a sport, it's a personal sport, whereas theatrical combat is designed for the crowd. Everything we do out here is for the entertainment of the people, but we also get a lot of personal enjoyment out of producing a good fight ourselves.
Now tell us about what's going on here.
This was a fight for the King's Show, Henry VIII, at a fair 3 months ago. That is my partner, Anthony Hole, and he's been with Skirmishers for a number of years now. We are demonstrating a rapier and dagger fight for the period, trying to get letters patent from the king to teach the other men of England how to fight with the weapon.
How long have you been doing this? How long has Skirmishers been established?
Stage combat for us has been going on about 7 years.
Ooh, look at that.
Wow.
That's one of our favorite fights. We've been doing that for a number of years now.
Now, you don't get hurt with these weapons, do you?
No, our choreography starts out very slowly and builds up to speed, and the weapons, while they are pointed, the edges have been removed, so...
God, you know, it must take so much physical strength just to be able to maintain your energy level and to be able to maneuver the weapons without hurting yourself. Do you guys have like a physical workout program that you have to follow as well as doing the routines?
There's a lot of stretching involved, endurance, running, even some weight training. But yeah, it takes a lot of endurance to pull off even a minute and a half long fight. Most of our fights are roughly a minute in length, but it seems like we've been out there for hours when the fight's over with.
I bet.
Are the swords heavy, or are they pretty lightweight?
Oh, look at that.
They're fairly lightweight. The ones we're using there are roughly about 2 pounds.
I just remember like the movies from the Knights of the Round Tables when they have the men in, the men in armor, the suits of armor, and they have those big, heavy swords that they have to pick up.
I think this guy's a goner.
This is one of the debut fights of 2 of our members, Durwood Hicks and Ken Stiers.
How long did it take them to choreograph this?
It took quite a few hours. I'm not really sure how many hours they put in on it, but the time involved is roughly 40 hours for a fight.
What kind of acting is involved?
A lot of, well, most of it, as you can see, it's the physical acting. The verbal stuff comes in later on as you gain more confidence. Most of us are actually pretty quiet individuals.
Were you?
No.
Has there ever hurt? Did you?
No.
Oh, has there ever been any accidents when you've been performing? Like
No.
you guys had to go to the hospital or
No, happily
stitches?
enough. We've been doing it long enough and take enough care with it that there haven't been any injuries.
No workers' comp claim
No,
today.
not at all.
Now, explain what's going on here. The maiden